This particular piece is a centerfold of 2 Atlantic Railroads, 24 by 30. Kind of like a glare on it, but this is a 2020. This is a new one, representing encampment, the Black Hills, Spirit in the sky, the eagle that watches over me, and the Parfleche designs. So it has a lot of different stuff going on in it. And this one up here, 24 by 30, also a new one, 2020. This one's also a buffalo runner. The strength of the bear on his horse mask. The chief's pinwheel with the 4 feathers. And the buffalo's morphing into his spots. You see the eagles and the moon matching the horse. And this piece was a 2019. Strength and beauty. The buffalo and eagle, all in deep sienna autumn colors. I had a real fun time painting that eyeball. This is a 10-foot by 9-foot full bull buffalo robe that I just finished. And it's just like the ledger drawings, same concept. I'll pan across from right to left. You see the shields, see the elderly, see the children, the women, the young warriors. You see, this encampment has a bunch of designs on the teepees, which it would have been long ago, with the buffalo theme. We talked about it earlier about the hail. And the chief's blanket strip, geometrical Parfleche design go all the way across. Then you got the buffalo runners on bottom. That's the buffalo spirit. And the bear for strength, you see on every corner. You got the bear paws. That was definitely a fun piece to do. The biggest one I ever did so far. The ceiling is 10 foot 6 inches, so you can get an idea how big it is. And I got the black war bonnet design for the sun, representing the sun. And like I talked about earlier, the triangular form of the dots representing the constellation, and my signature eagles. And that's that. Hello, we're back. And what I'm doing here is starting on ledger. It's a justice docket, 1825. And I'm just finishing up on some shading on his first horse. As you can see, the middle is pitch red and fading off into the black on the edges. And what I'll do next is grab the stencil here and put a moon in there. And this one will go with a yellow, kind of orange. And just shade the whole inside. I'm using Prisma colored pencils, and you don't gotta use Prisma. You could use the cheap brand. Sometimes it's good to buy the cheap brand because they got colors that Prisma don't have. It's a shade off. It's either brighter or dull, and they'll all work just the same. The only difference between is the Prisma goes on a lot more wax. It's kind of like goes on like it's a more waxy application. And then I would come back like what I talked about earlier. I would put in a eagle, something I do to all my drawings, a silhouette of an eagle. You can't go wrong putting an eagle in any kind of drawing you do. Put one above, one on the side. And one on the other side. And I would come back and make the bridle have it hanging loose. And put a couple of feathers on there. And then I'll put a circle on his eye, which represents keen vision. And then a lightning bolt coming from it, which represents speed and agility. And then from there, I'll just look at a little bit of different shading techniques on the edges, like dark to light. So I'll come back in here with dark, make it fade off and towards the bottom of the mane. Touch up some spots here and there. And then I would put horse tracks on the side representing the number of successful horse raids the warrior participated in. Then shade the inside of the horse tracks with the light red to make them stand out a little better. And then I'll come back to the right side of the mane and do a buffalo skull. Half of a buffalo skull, and make that dark to light. Then shade that. Shade that red. Then come back on the edges and get nice and pitch, solid red. You could do it all with the light shading, the whole thing if you want, but I just got a habit of making the colors nice and pitch. I think it turns out real good in the end. And then come back in with the same yellow there. Color in the inside, and it kind of morphs in with the red and gives it its own color. Kind of like a flame orange is what it produces when you mix the two colors like this. And then from there, I would do a type of shading with a archival soft point. Make sure that's in the frame. Go right along the outside of it, of the buffalo skull in a little circular motion. And go all the way around the buffalo skull with the same technique. Give it like it's producing a shadow. And then from there, I would envision a teepee right about here. And then from there, I'll come back with the brown. I'm going to make the entry to the teepee. And the pegs that hold the teepee fastened in the front. And then make a foreground and make it fade away. Then come in with the green, mist it out to the side. And then a little bit of that orange. And a little bit of that black. And then from there, I would do like some buffalo track symbols right here. Four of them representing the four directions. And color the inside of them red. And that's pretty much the gist of the technique that I like to run with when I create. And then up here in the left hand corner, we'll put what they would call a long time ago in a triangular form. The red dots will represent constellation, and the sporadic dots that are all elsewhere would represent hail. So we'll put hail on this side, so they'll just be dots sporadically with no special shape, just sporadically on the drawing itself. So this is the example of the lead ledger. I just did just for so you can see the technique. And you got to notice right here where it goes pitch black and there's a little mist going out. And then so you soften up the edges instead of a keen outline. And this is a hail. Buffalo tracks represented 4 directions. The eagle, the constellation, the number of successful horse raids the warrior participated in, and his buffalo runner, which is this horse right here, and his lodge. So way back, a warrior would have drew something like this just to keep the visual and oral history alive. You'll see many different other types of artwork that I do. You could find me on Instagram, Evans Flammond Senior. You'll see from A to Z what I'll do, and you'll see a lot more images of the ledger artwork that I do, the horse masks and everything else. So if you get a chance, you can check that out. Hope you enjoyed everything that I talked about and showed you, and pick up some colored pencils and try some ledger art. Google it, get a little bit of history on it, and go from there. And it's a nice, easy concept. Just gotta pick it up and practice, and you could go any direction with it. Don't forget to use any color that comes to your mind. There's no boundaries. No boundaries at all. Use every single one of them in any way you see fit. And we'll talk to you again soon in the future, or see you at an art show, or what have you. And thanks for your time. And we're gonna clock out right now. Catch you later.